Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Puranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma-vidyam.
Okay, so now we have to see this Manīṣā Pañcakam. Before I start, let me welcome all of you from your different places where you have come. This is a ashram filled with many nice people. Don't get scared, they may look scary, but just speak with everybody and you will realize that they are all nice people. Everybody's here? So, I think Dev and Jeena ji would have already told all about this ashram, and you all would have walked around and saw? Walked around and met and saw and everything? Alright. So for the next few days we will see this Manīṣā Pañcakam. It's a wonderful text written by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Today perhaps we could see the introduction. I don't know how long it will take, let us see. So the name of the text is Manīṣā Pañcakam. Pañcakam means 5. Manīṣā means intelligence, consciousness, conviction. Many meanings are there for the word Manīṣā. So here the word Manīṣā means firm conviction. In our text, the context of what we are dealing with, Manīṣā means firm conviction. It was composed by the great Bhagavan Shankaracharya, who lived somewhere in the 7th, 8th century, like that. Some people say much before that. But while the historicity of the text may be relevant in certain ways and all that, what is important to us is the content of the text. And in the text, the content is dealing with the 4 Mahavakyas. Manīṣā Pañcakam deals with the 4 Mahavakyas, and it is set in a wonderful story, which now let me tell you that Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself was incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he had gone to the holy city of Kashi with his disciples, and he had taken bath in Ganga, and then was walking towards Kashi Vishwanath, Bhagavan Shiva in Kashi. So what you had? The Lord himself taking bath in Ganga, that came out from his own head, because Ganga came from the head of Lord Shiva. We had Bhagavan Shankaracharya who went to take bath in Ganga, same Ganga that came out from his own head. And then after taking bath in Ganga, he himself was going to get darshan of Lord Shiva in Kashi. Well, even if you study the story, forget about the text. Even if you study the story itself, then you will start wondering, well, this is a very mysterious and strange thing which is happening, isn't it? Ganga emanates from his own head. In that Ganga he goes to take a bath, and then he goes to get his own darshan. He is playing a drama with the cast being one. The cast for the drama is one. Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva incarnated as Shankaracharya, taking bath in his own Ganga and then going to get his own darshan. Well, luckily for us, the universe is a leela, a drama with a cast of one. The cast of one is Brahman, the absolute reality, which has manifested as the multifarious things which we see in the universe. But it is one thing which has manifested as everything. And therefore Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, for instance, speaks about the unity in and amongst the diversity. So there may be a diversity in what we see, but there is a unity behind that seeming diversity. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu vibhaktam ivacha sthitam. He said that reality is sthitam. It is there, staying behind the universe, and it is avibhaktam. Avibhaktam means undivided, unbroken, akhanda, unbroken reality, undivided reality. Anavachinna, anavacheda. Some words like that sometimes are used. And in that same line he says, Vibhakteshu vibhaktam eva. Vibhakteshu means amongst individual things, amongst broken things. Broken things is not something broken. Amongst a universe that appears to be broken up into individual objects, that reality seems to have been broken up. All this will come up again just now, so don't worry. The reality, the one caste, the one man caste that is taken on all the roles in the universe is the one Brahman that has manifested as everything. And so the Leela is nothing but Brahman interacting with Brahman. Therefore, Brahmarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmarno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmevate, Brahmakarma Samadhina. Everything in the world is Brahman only, reality. So Brahman playing a Leela with himself. And when we use such terminologies, there appears to be many contradictions, but we can see on a screen of a movie, on one side of the screen there is Amitabh Bachchan, other side of the screen there is Gabbar Singh. So you have two characters, and in the background you have all Gabbar Singh's henchmen, and on this side you have Amitabh Bachchan's partner. So there seems to be many people there, but what really is happening is, from a projector, one big huge bulb like this is just shooting out white light. It is one white light filtering through film which is falling on that screen as various characters. But the source is one pure white light, undifferentiated. You may see the outcome. You may see the result as being various characters and all. But the source of the various characters on the screen is one uniform white light. So we may see this apparent diversity in the universe, vibhakta, separate, distinct objects and things. We may see that, but it is really having one's unbroken source, and that it called as existence, consciousness, bliss. It is called as undifferentiated reality, which we call as Satchit Ananda. So this truism is symbolized even in the story itself, where Bhagavan has gone there to take bath in Ganga, which comes on his own head, and he's going to get his own darshan. And what? To add one more now. To add one more to that, Bhagavan Shiva takes the rupa or the form of a chandala, outcast, sweeping on the path. Jaru karne wala. He was sweeping the path. Then, as the great Acharya, Shankaracharya, was coming from after taking his bath, the customs of the day prevailed. So now, what happened? He shouted to the chandala, outcast. Gacharacha means you. Get away, go, move away, get lost, scram, whatever you say in English, from the path. Because in those days it was considered, see the practices of the time, the beliefs of the time, it was considered that even if the shadow of that chandal, outcast, fell on him, he will again become impure, and he'll have to go and take another bath. Not only the chandal touch him, even if his shadow fell. So, in line with that custom, he shouted, move away, get away. Like that. So now how many different incarnations? All of Lord Shiva only. How many different things of Lord Shiva only there in this holy city of Kashi? So that adding one more in the chandal now, and the symbolism getting even stronger. Therefore, what we will surmise from this story is, if Bhagavan is playing this whole drama, he is the Chanda, he is Bhagavan Shankara, he is the Lord Shiva, is going to get darshan from his head only Ganga has come, everything. If this whole thing has been put there, it certainly is put only for our benefit, because the Lord has now, so to speak, manufactured, concocted a whole situation. For who? Either we say for his own entertainment, or for our benefit, for our own upliftment and evolution. And our means the whole society at the time, and posterity after that. Because here is a society that is practicing something that is so steeped in ignorance. Steeped in ignorance means what? The society has no inkling. The society and the people of the time would have had no inkling that it is one being that is playing various roles. The society has such a strong feeling of difference, and not only difference. First of all, you are different from me, so that we are unconnected. That is first thing. Second thing is, not only are we unconnected, now all of this is rooted in ignorance. Not only are we unconnected, unrelated. This is what the society believes because of ignorance. Also, somehow I am greater and more divine, or more entitled, or more auspicious, and the other is not entitled, is less auspicious, less divine. All of these things are rooted in ignorance. See, when society had gone to, this ignorance had gone so far, ignorance had produced such wrong thoughts which had gone so far to think, even if the shadow of the other fellow fell on it, much less for the inauspicious person to touch him, shadow it. So therefore, he could not even pass close by. It is shadow. And if it is evening time, the shadow is longer. This was morning time bath, so the shadow is also very long. Morning and evening, the shadow is long. See? So, gacha gacha, like that, he told. And this gacha gacha, which emanated from the Acharya, the great Mahacharya. Some say it emanated from one of his disciples, because the Acharya himself would not have said. But the disciples would have been doing things which are either allowed by the Acharya, or which was practiced by the Acharya, and which was not also objected to by the Acharya. So whichever way, whether it came from the disciples or from the Acharya, the whole situation would have been really concocted by the Lord himself to remove an evil from society, or to remove a misunderstanding, a product of ignorance from society, which was prevalent at the time. And of course, society is such that these things come and go. It only takes a little while for these things to go away, and again a little while to come back. I'll just give you a simple example of, because of many problems in Europe, Irish potato blight and war and pestilence and so many things in Europe, so many people fled in the last 300-400 years, right? So when they landed in what they call the New World, they came with nothing. So in such situations, it is very easy to see equality among themselves. You have nothing, I have nothing, all of us have. So people accept equality among themselves. So they started off like that. Then they started running across the whole country looking for gold, and some got gold and some did not get any gold. And the ones who got gold, they became rich, and they got other things, land, whichever way they got, whatever it is, but they got things. And then, within a short time, a couple hundred years, which is no time really in vast time, in a couple hundred years, then what you have, a vast expanse between haves and have-nots, which is there right now. There are so many circles which you cannot go. Certain places where the haves are there, which you will not be able to go, because there's a class society now. When they came, everybody, it was very fast. Society developed these things. No, we belong to a different strata, or we belong to a different class, or we belong to a different whatever root echelon, like that. So societies pick up these things, and it is for us who have, or who can access knowledge, to remove these type of things from society, because it reinforces the idea of separation, unconnectedness, which is a false idea. In our mind, it reinforces separation and distinction and all such things. So this is a little a little teaching in the story itself. Some people have all sorts of other symbolisms for the story. That really the chandala is our senses, because our senses are always steeped in all worldly, useless things. Therefore, some people say our senses are the chandala. Get away from the senses. Means let the senses not bring to our mind all the ephemeral, transient, unreal things of this world to our mind. So let the senses. Some of them are a stretch. You can make up your own, what you call, symbolism and all of that. Symbolism is always left to the discretion of the person who is doing the study. Alright? But what is very, very striking is one being, Lord Shiva, is the center of all the things. And that is a very, very striking symbolism. Lord Shiva is playing the whole drama from all sides. Okay. And then his Bhagavan Shankaracharya's students and all will be there. Then his Gana is always following everywhere. Now, this you see now, we have text there. This will be on page number 1. Here. I brought this so I can zoom. I will chant that, I will see. This is the reply of the chanta. The first was Manīṣā Pañcakam, reply of the chanta. What I told you earlier, the story is preceding, right? Now the meter is not there in that, it's just mixed up with different chanda bhanga. See. Annamaya dannamayam Athava chaitanyameva chaitanyat Yati varaduri kartum. Oh, wrong. This book has something else. Dvija varaduri kartum Vanchasi kim bruhi gaccha gaccheti. What happens usually is there are specific number of syllables in each quarter and each line. Counted number. Sanskrit compositions are like that. Huh? And when there's a specific number, sometimes like one line across will have 16 or 19 or 21 or 11 or whatever like that, specific number. Then it is called as a chanda. When that is missing, it is called as prose. Just prose. Only this verse, from the next one, otherwise it will be fine. Only this mantra. Huh? So now, the chanda is asking Bhagavan Shankaracharya, after he says Gaccha Gaccha, Kim Bruhi Gaccha Gaccha iti? He asks, what do you want to move away? This is the question. What are you telling to move away? Ye Yativara or Dvijavara? Yativara is some retention, and this one has Yativara. Same thing, Dvijavara. Oh great one, twice born, great Muni, Duri Kartum Vanchasi, you want something to get away, go far, move away. Kim Gaccha Gaccha, what do you want to go to move away? Because you told me to move, go. Get away. What exactly do you want to? Yes, Annamayat, Annamaya, you want this body which is made up of food to move away from that body, your body, which is made up of food, or Athva, Chaitanyam eva Chaitanya. You want Chaitanya to move away from Chaitanya. Means consciousness. Now you tell. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya, and I can imagine the disciples also, all of their eyes would have opened like that, you know. Because the Chandal now, immediately from his mouth emanates some really striking jnana, knowledge. You want this body, physical body, which is made up of Anna, Annamaya. And Anna is food. Food is all food and all bodies, and nothing. You have studied all your Tobago and all that. It's made up of Panchikarana, Panchamahabhuta, isn't it? Panchikrita Panchamahabhuta means the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth, which has gone through the process of splitting and recombination and all that, and then it makes up all these bodies, that body, and all bodies. So, whatever this body is made up of, your body also is made up of the same thing. And not only that, see, I am standing on this ground, the Chandala would have said, I am standing on this ground also is made up of the same 5 elements. And the space also is made up of the 5 elements, because the space also gone through Panchika. The space has air, fire, water, and earth also. So the body stops here, is made up of the 5 elements, and the space starts here, that is also made up of the 5 elements, and you are standing there, and you are also made up of the 5 elements. Now tell, what do you want to move from what? What a thing. From a Chanda. Annamaya, Annamayam, Athava, now Chaitanya. Now the other thing is consciousness. Consciousness though is all pervasive. It is not so easy to see all objects as all pervasive. I just told you, if you study all objects like this, all the objects are made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth. Then the space, air, fire, water, earth are all pervasive. So one piece of space moving from one, see, how can you take this piece of space and move it here? That is tantamount to saying the same thing. If everything in the universe is made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth, think, huh? You say, you move this from here and put it here. Move this one from here, away from this one. Well, this is also made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth. And this is also made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth. And this space is made up of all same 5, and this space also is made up of same 5. So it will be tantamount to moving this space from this space. That is what it adds up to. You see, the fact that everything is made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth is apart from the fact that that space, air, fire, and water, and earth is appearing here as watch and is appearing here as microphone. They are two different things. That is Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa is apart from space, air, fire, water, and earth. Those are the Panchamahabhuta. Panchamahabhuta makes up everything. Nama Rupa is superimposed. And out of the 5 Panchamahabhuta and Nama Rupa 7, out of the 7, 5 are real relative to the other 2. Nama Rupa not real. So, in other words, when we move one object from another, I'm talking about this phenomenal level. When we are moving one object from another object, we are actually moving Nama Rupa. See where our life stands. Our life stands at the level of Nama Rupa. We are juggling Nama Rupa. Because every other thing is made up of the 5 elements. Every single object. So we are juggling Nama, Rupa, and we are juggling the most unreal part of the phenomena, Nama Rupa, which has no substance. The other things have substance of space, air, fire, water, and earth. So that means what? We are caught up. Human beings are caught up at the most superficial level of the universe, overwhelmed by Nama, Rupa, and having such great understanding and such great conviction that we are making a difference in this universe. And we are doing so many things in this universe. And really, we juggle Nama, Rupa. If you are moving, say all this is water, and you move this much water from here and you keep it here. Suppose you can catch this water and you bring it here. This place will be filled again. But what have you done? Nothing. So the question of the Chandala goes very, very deep. I have taken it very deep. You have to reflect on the question of the Chandala. You want this body to move from. He only says Annamaya. Annamaya, he said. Annamaya means Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means this kosha which is made up of food. You're seeing, right? Which you can see. But the Annamaya Kosha is made up of food, means all food is made up of space, air, fire, water, and earth. The Annamaya Kosha is made up of that also. So that you want to move, or you want Chaitanya to move. Chaitanya which is all pervasive now. But now all pervasive thing cannot move. Something which is all pervasive is beyond the concept of space. Something which is all pervasive is beyond the concept of space. It is infinite and beyond the concept of space. And movement can take place in space only. So that is beyond space. You see, you move it from this place and you keep it in this place. There are two places. So you are within the realm of space. Movement coordinates in space. But something which is beyond space, to which space does not apply. You will move from where to where. But you can't even ask the question. Because so from where to where you are again invoking space. Even if the thing is all pervasive in space, still you can't move it. Because if it is already everywhere, you will move from where to where. So, when Bhagavan Shankaracharya heard this question from the Chandala and all the disciples, I could imagine that their eyebrows would have gone up here. The typical Indian eyebrow that you see in soaps, and something, and the camera zooms in on that eyebrow. Not only did he ask that question, but in the next mantra, next verse, all the essentials of Vedanta is there in that. Now, let me see how this one is there. Kim Ganga Muni. Yes. This essential, I don't know who it belongs to. Who this belongs to. This second two line of your book came second. It came first. Of this one. It is just two lines. Now see here, I have to chant like yours. Kim Ganga Muni Bivim Bimite Baramano Kim Gangam Buni Bimbitem Varamanau Chandala Vithi Payaha Our old edition has this one. It's changed. Chandalavati Payaha Urevantaramasti Kanchanagati Mrit Kumbhayor Vambare Pratyagvastuni Nistaranga Sahaja Nandavabodhambudau Viproyam Shvapacho Yamityapimahan Koyam Vibheda Brahmaha. Now, Kim. Kim means what? Kim Gangambuni. Now see, the question is already asked. What you want to move? This body from that body, or you want to move Chaitanya from Chaitanya? Anyhow you take it. If this body and that body is made up of same thing, and space is made up of same thing, 5 elements, then it doesn't make any sense to move anybody from anybody. And Atma Chaitanya, Supreme Chaitanya, is all pervasive, so nothing could move. Now he said, Kim Gangam Muni Bimmite Ambaramau Chandala Vati Payaha. Chandala Vati Payaha, or VT here, this one, VT Payaha. It means the water in the ditch in the slums where the Chandala lives, like that. When Chandala lives in some slum there, and then in those places, they don't have proper drainage or whatever. There's some dirty ditch water will be there in those places, right? So if Ambaramani means sun. Ambaramani means Ambara is space, and Mani is the jewel in the space. So when you look up in the space, the crown jewel is sun. That's how. So Ambaramani is known as sun. It is reflecting in the reflection of the sun in that ditch water, or the reflection of the sun in Ganga. Gangamuni. What difference does it make to the sun? Like that. That will be the big question. But does it defile the sun if it reflects in that dirty ditch water, or it reflects in Ganga? Does it defile the sun, or does it, by reflecting in Ganga, does it give higher status to the sun? And by reflecting in the ditch water, does it defile that ditch water? Yeah, that question is there. Huh? Second thing, Pure ambare va antaram asti kanchana ghati mrit kumbhayoho. Means the infinite space is caught up in a pot which is made from gold, or caught up in a pot which is made from mrit, mud pot. So the space is there in a golden pot, but the space is there in a mud pot. What, does the golden pot give higher status to the space? and the one pot gives lower status to the space. In other words, Atma Chaitanya is caught up in this Chandala body, and Atma Chaitanya is caught up in that Brahmana Yativara body. Both the bodies have. So the Atma Chaitanya became more sacred in your body and less sacred in my body, or what? Just like the sun reflecting in the dirty water or the Ganga, holy water, or the space caught up in golden pot, or any other type of pot. Water containers. Now, then the next is, no, not the knowledge part comes in. Pratyak vastuni nistaranga sahajananda avabodha ambudau. For one, for the person who is absorbed in his own sahaja ananda, in his own inner self, which is the avabodha ambu, is the ocean of pure consciousness. For the one who is absorbed in the ocean of pure consciousness, which is nistaranga. Nistaranga means waveless, unmoving. For one who is absorbed in the unmoving, waveless consciousness, which is of the nature of ananda, and ananda means bliss, and natural also, sahaja. All these words are given. For the one who is absorbed in that, vipraha ayam shvapachaha ayam iti api mahan koyam vibheda brahmana. How it is, this is a great mahan, great person like you could make such a superficial distinction between vipra and shvapacha in Chandal. Shvapacha means actually dog eater. Dog cooker literally. But I don't think he cooked the dog just to shvapacha. How it is, mahan, such a great person, to have this vibheda brahma, to have this delusory distinction. How you made this delusory distinction between, it means a person of your stature, whatever you say, what you call it? Stature? Your stature should not have made this type of distinction, because you are the one who is absorbed in that. No. How this Chandal knows that? I mean, so they also must be wondering that this Chandal also cannot be any ordinary person. To know that he is absorbed in that and he is making such a distinction. And then type of knowledge and examples that he is giving. These examples, so two examples are given there. One example is Kim Ganga Muni. How in the waters of the Ganga, the same sun is reflecting, and is it dirty ditch water? The same sun is reflecting. Does it do anything to the sun? In any way affect the sun either this way or this way? Up or down? Second thing, next one is named Gadakasha. Gadakasha. So, the two examples which are utilized by the Chandala is what is considered to be in our Vedanta philosophy. One is called as Pratibimbavada, and the other is, now these are all big words I have to tell you. Avachedavada. What is Pratibimbavada? Avachedavada. Hare Rama. If your head hasn't cracked yet, is it going to crack now? In our Vedanta, we do, now you have to back up, because when he is using, he is making two expressions using two examples. One is the reflection of the sun in various types of water, and the other is the encapsulating of the space in various types of pots or containers, right? So, where there is a reflection, in Sanskrit, reflection is called as pratibimba. Reflection of sun in this water and that water. And where the space becomes in the two pots, where the space becomes conditioned by a gold pot, or the space becomes conditioned by a mud pot. Yes. A mud pot. What you have then is space broken up into, or the better example would be space broken up into classroom space and outside space, or space broken up into pot space and classroom space. So that is called chid in Sanskrit, means to cut, to break, to smash, like that. So the space seems to be broken up. It's called our chedavad. The space seems to be broken up, but really when you start looking, you realize that the space is not broken, it's one continuous space. It appears to be broken up. So why are these vadas used in Vedanta? This is for easy understanding of the relationship or the connection, or also the difference between Jiva and Ishvara. These vadas are utilized to explain or to make easy understanding of the difference or similarity between Jiva and Ishvara. That's why we have so many. There are many of them. I've got only two coming here. So now I will have to deal with those. Now please see this one. First, the Pratibimba. Pratibimba means the model of reflection of consciousness in Jiva and Ishvara. Consciousness, when reflecting, so first let us study, that is a little bit difficult. Let us study the example first. Here's the example. The sun reflecting from the sky into a bucket of water. Study that first. The sun reflecting into a bucket of water. The sun inside the bucket will appear like a little sun like this, and the sun inside the bucket will not be as hot as the sun in the sky. Right? But you leave out their differences. This will be differences. The sun in the bucket, small. The sun in the bucket, not hot. The sun in the bucket, perhaps not as bright and powerful as the sun in the sky. All that is different. The two are different. But in spite of their differences, the two are inextricably connected. Actually speaking, the two are one and same. Because if you come over that bucket and you just take up something, a piece of cardboard, and you hold it up above the bucket like this, when you block off that sun, the one here disappears. The one in the bucket will disappear. It means that this sun in the bucket is connected directly to that sun, and the other way to say that this sun is nothing but that sun. That's from a certain standpoint, isn't it? It is not that the two at some point are unconnected and all, and after that sun has set, this one thinks, you know, I'm visiting this place for the first time, let me stay here a little bit longer. That one is set. No. That one sets, this one sets, because they both are one and same. In the very same way, in this matter of Jiva and Ishvara now, Ishvara is, and Pratibimba has this very special quality about it. Ishvara will be the sun. And this upadhi, which is made up of vidya, will be the bucket. And Ishvara will be reflecting in this upadhi. So that is called, this is called as pratibimba. Whatever occurs as the jiva, or whatever appears as a jiva, is nothing but the reflection of Ishvara in an upadhi which is made up of avidya. That is all. Now, for enlightenment, for realization, what has to happen? Well, the only thing that has to happen in such a situation, where the one who is the jiva is really nothing but Ishvara reflecting in this upadhi. What has to happen there? Only that the jiva has to realize, just like I was telling you, the sun in the bucket is nothing but the sun in the sky. He has to realize that there is no disconnect at no time. There is never any disconnect between jiva and Ishvara. The reflection doesn't have to be removed. There is no removal of the reflection. There is just the understanding that what is considered as a reflection is really nothing but the original sun. And that sun is stretching all the way. So in this Pratibimbavada, enlightenment requires just the realization of the connectedness of jiva to Ishvara. Jiva was at no time disconnected. That is apart from the fact that he may feel he is disconnected. Jiva may feel he is disconnected. That is a different matter. Feeling one is disconnected and being disconnected, they are two different things. In other words, I may feel that I am this body, mind, intellect, I am not connected to anybody and all of that sort of thing. I am not connected to God. That is a feeling only. That happens, for example, in the bucket, this little sun here, he forgets his connection with the sun in the sky, and now he thinks, I am bucket. And one of the days I will kick the bucket. He also thinks. He thinks I am small, I am limited. And in other words, he forgets his original connection and becomes identified with his little surrounding here, his upadhi, in other words. So this pratibimba, or this reflection, is the jiva. But from an ordinary standpoint, he is a reflection, but from the ultimate standpoint, he is nothing but pure consciousness. So he is caught up in this upadhi and has become identified with the upadhi. So this pratibimba is used like this. When we say the consciousness is a reflection in this upadhi. Then the next vada is avacheda vada. Avacheda means, I told you, from chit means to break, to broken up. So it appears as though, now I'll tell you how this avacheda vada works. Very nice. The example used ordinarily is ghatakasha and kakshakasha. What is kakshakasha? So in this room here, there is space, no? So it goes from there to here, which is 40 feet or less. And from here to here, which is 20 feet. Right? And then it goes like this, 8 feet. So this is all space, this volume of space. Now suppose you bring a pot. Right now you call this what space? Classroom space. Kaksha, room space. So all this space inside here is room space. Now you bring a pot in here. You keep this pot here. Now what will happen? Inside that pot some space will be there, right? But just now you call that same space room space. Now when you brought the pot, the space which is there inside the pot, that will be what space now? Pot space. Before you brought in the pot, that same space was called as room space. Now you brought the pot and you conditioned that space. Not the same space now which you called room space before. Now it is being called as pot space. Really speaking, the two, this whole space here, which you call a room space, the conditioning was the walls. And now what you call as pot space, the conditioning is the wall of the pot. But both this room space and this Gadakasha, Kakshakasha, Gadakasha, both of them, they are nothing but Aparichinnakasha. They are what? Infinite space. And they were never disconnected at any time. And nobody could disconnect them also. See? So what happened really is these walls seem to have broke apart part of that infinite space and conditioned it and called it room space. Then you brought in the pot. That also broke it up even further. The walls of the pot broke up that room space now and that pot space will be Jiva. And room space will be Ishvara. And infinite space will be Para Brahman, no conditioning. No conditioning whatsoever. Ishvara also is conditioned by Maya. Jiva is conditioned by Avidya, like that. These two, which produces this BMI. So, the infinite space which is there in this whole universe which has no end, that will be unconditioned Brahman. The room space will be Ishvara, and the Akash will be Jiva. That is called Avachedana. Now, this is used to understand how Jiva is nothing but, and Ishvara both, is nothing but the infinite Paramatma, like this. These examples are utilized and these vadas are utilized to understand like that. Though you may see a conditioning around the pot, the clay, that space inside the pot and this space in the room is same as the whole vast infinite space. In the same way, though this Jiva appears to be a separate being and Ishvara is another being, both Ishvara and Jiva, they are nothing but that reality conditioned by various upadhi. Ishvara's upadhi is Maya and our upadhi is Avidya, which is in the form of this body, mind and intellect. These are the two vadas. Now, when he uses two examples, Chandala is talking about two vadas. He is utilizing, now this Chandala is no ordinary Chandala. So for the one who realizes this, his question to that Bhagavan Shankaracharya is, if this is your realization, from whence did this question come? This question which is Vibheda Brahma, this delusion of distinction between you and me, and you're saying move away, move away. But please remember, Bhagavan has written the script and Bhagavan has all the characters and he is playing it out himself. So if that is the case, that means it is to remove an evil from society, isn't it? It is to remove an evil from society. And the removal, and one more thing is very important, that evil from society can only be removed by knowledge then. Nothing from society will be removed any other way. Knowledge only has to. See, people say, no, I become removed by bhakti, by love. Right? Listening. Love without knowledge, without understanding, is fanaticism. The only way you can love something without understanding that thing is by fanaticism. You have to become obsessed. Obsession and fanaticism, they are not positive terms. We have to understand exactly what it is and why I love. So bhakti, to remove problems of the world, you say, love the world. If I don't understand that the world is Ishvara, the world is all made of one thing, if that understanding is not there, I can only love that world by obsession or by fanaticism. That is the only other replacement. Understanding is absolutely important. The problem of the world here in his time is being removed by knowledge. Alright. Now, when Bhagavan heard this from this Chandala, Bhagavan immediately broke out into verses. He's always waiting to break out into verses. We break out into all sorts of crazy things. But Bhagavan breaks out into verses, just like when he saw that man learning Sanskrit, when he broke out into those verses of the Bhajagovinda. So now we will see these verses in our next class. I'll stop telling when. Next class.